been kind of going along a bit of a theme here. Don't mind the reflection. A while back, Lori Richardson was doing some really cool clay hearts, and I think she was doing them over foil. Now I haven't watched it in a while, but I want to do some beads, and I was making different things out of this, what I'm doing here, the sacred heart and all that kind of thing on the videos and that kind of thing. So, but I wanted to give it a little time and make another type of heart, kind of like exactly what Lori Richardson's done, except I'm not putting clay on because I'm just going to do the tape and see how that works with, you could do paper mache, you could just do tape and paint over it, done that way, or you can put like plaster cloth over it and that kind of thing. So whatever way you like, or you can put clay over it. So it's whatever you like. But I was thinking about making some beads. These are going to be really big and chunky, and it's kind of the same thing as she was doing, making these heart shape. And she did a jewelry wrap or something like that on it. I'm not planning to do that, but I'm planning to make the nice beads, some chunky charm type of things. And yeah. Woo! So this is inspired by that idea, just the heart shape anyway. And I've been wanting to do these beads for a while, just haven't got the motivated to do them. And now I'm kind of thinking, well, I've been doing some beads. You guys will see some other videos. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to these. So I'm just really pressing in on these. So this is just the foil. And I'm really pressing in. And then I'm going to tape it up to cover that all up. And I can, like I said, just paint over it and just have fun with it and have like a neat chunky bead like that. Or I can put some plastic wrap. I like that idea. Or you can even do a little paper mache with some paper towel. You don't need too many layers, so it'll be nice and hard like that too. So it's whatever kind of mood I suppose I'm going to So I want to quickly stop or slow down the video here because I've done 6 of these hearts, and I'm doing some of these little square tile type of beads. So I want to show you how I did these. So what I did was basically just have a small piece of foil, fold it and crinkle it into this shape, and then go with that. Then cut them down and then tape them up to exactly the same as the other beads. So now I have some tiles. And you can do them, here's a couple bigger ones, here's a couple smaller ones. So you can do them whatever size you want. And yeah, you can do any shape you want. So these ones are kind of more square tile type of shape. And you can just play with the foil and paint them all different colors too when you're done. And just kind of, I'm going to round this up a bit, put tape over it, and this is going to be just like that. I'm going to shape them more too when they're taped up, and they won't poke you. The foil won't get you. And then that's about it. Now I just go roll the tape around both ways, and that's how I do it. This is kind of funny because I was looking to see what do I have ready here to use on hand, and I had this plate with a bunch of pieces cut. I also have paper towels ready, so that's kind of funny. I thought, okay, well, since I have both of them ready, I will just show you both and what I would do. So I'm going to take my hearts first of all. These are taped. I'm just going to use my decoupage. I know it may be a little expensive, but I'm not sure how many I'm going to use or do in this manner. But I'm just going to show you if you're going to use glue or Mod Podge, and you're only going to do something small, it's not going to be really wasting, I think, product really. So I'm just going to put it on there, put a little glue on there, moving some of the other stuff out of the way so that I don't get it just everywhere. And I'm having it on my skewer just so then it doesn't block my hole I made. And there is one with paper towel. And these are the Blue Shot paper towels, if you recall. I love using these. I use them on my other paper mache type of things like elephants and stuff like that. And it works great, and they get really nice and hard. So that's easy peasy right there. You might have to, I'm doing it on a dry paper towel right now piece, but it's such a small piece that's kind of helpful that I can kind of cut it and work around. So easy to shape and that kind of thing too. So that is that one. Then I would just use my heat tool to dry most of it up, play with it, you know, moving it around, making sure it's not seized up on there. And like I said, you could do basically the same thing with the sheets of can't think of the name right at the moment. The clay, the plaster sheets. So then you can get those at Michael's. So, and I like to use the shop towels because I think they're thicker and I only need one layer, really I do, for a small project like this. So just getting it all covered is the big thing, and that's about it. So you're not doing a whole big, and you got solid underneath. It's not just newspaper or anything like that. You got nice solid taped up foil, so it's good and solid underneath. So that would be how I would make these little beads. So you could do it that way, and it would be basically the same thing with the plaster and the water and just putting it on with your finger. So there's one. And like I said, I'd heat dry it, kind of play with, make sure it's moving on my skewer, so then my hole for the beads, for the wrap, or whatever I decide to do with it would be not clogged up. Smooth it out any way I want. I actually am going to use the clay plaster, of Paris. No, plaster strips. Just because I want to show you how it works. Like this one is still a little tacky. My hole is not. I gotta make sure, you know. And I gotta kind of play with it. Like it's just a little bit, it's not ready to play with. But you're gonna see that when you use the strips, you're going to have to wait longer for that to dry. But just going on here, and I'm going to use these strips here. And I got one of my paper plates, that one of used paper plates, and I'm just going to spray some water on it instead of dipping it in the like a container of water, just to make it a little faster, easier. And then I'm just going to show you, like I said before, you just gotta, this is probably the fastest way you're going to get this complete if you want to do this project a quick way, because you can really heat tool this and it dries really hard fast if you're only doing like not too many layers. So that's one great thing about this stuff. So, and it's exactly the same as the other one. See, it's harder for you to see what I'm doing. I am placing these strips on, wiping it with my finger, patting it down, smoothing it out. It is harder for you to see, but it is faster than the paper mache and less messy, in my opinion. Yes, you gotta do water, and that, and it's a little bit more pricey because you gotta buy the strips, but I think it's worth getting sometimes the project done right away. So I really like the plaster strips. So this is just showing you with the plaster strips, and I like that you can do them really quickly. And I got water here, and it's soaking it up right there, and I keep spraying it all the time. And see how it just curls, like it just goes over, folds over, it smooths over, it looks nice. It's not really any fuss to it. So I like that part. The paper mache is a little bit more fidgety because, well, you do have to, it's sticky. I guess that's the word that is. It's a little bit more sticky, whereas this is a little more forgiving when you're touching and that kind of thing. Even if you dry it partly and you're moving it around, it's not going to stick to your fingers like the paper mache. So here is that. Now I got some tape showing at the top there, so I'm just going to grab another one, spray. And I just pre-cut some of these in the past, and I had them in the little Ziploc baggie, so I'm not losing all my little powder from the plaster, the Paris that's on there. And that is it. Now this is going to be the way faster way to go. And you could add more. If you're finding it, that's another thing too. If you find it a little lumpy in one spot, you can add more plaster Paris. A little bit easier than the paper mache. So I'm just rolling it around the water now. So that is actually an easier way to do it for me. I love the plaster wraps. And that one is pretty much done, and I can dry it right away. And I'll show you the difference too. So I'm just gonna, okay, so I just dried it for a few minutes, but you guys didn't want it, like, I don't even know, it was a minute or so, but you guys don't want to hear that. And now I'm just showing you that it's not sticking to my fingers. I can move it up and down, and I could take it off. It's wet. It's a little bit neater process. Now the glue, paper mache one is still wet. And my fingers are a mess. But just to show you, you can do it both ways. It's not going to want to go in that way. But this one's my favorite one because it's easier for me. Less messy. And now I got, see, the glue's still not even dry. I was only, so you got to wait longer if you're going to do paper mache. But still cheaper and still going to look really nice at the end. So that's both the ways. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue. I'm probably just going to continue with the plaster Paris. But you'll see what I do with these ones as well when they're done here, because they're not going to look too much different. And just to give you an idea. So, and I'll be back. Okay, so after all of this, I'm moving my light around. It's quite shiny, I know. These pieces are pretty much done, ready for painting. My paper mache pieces are still very wet. I can still move the cloth and they still kind of want to stick to my fingers. So that just shows you how long it's going to take to dry for the paper mache. If you're doing the kitchen towel or the other, like, you know, paper towel, whatever. So I'm going to leave those ones over there because they're not ready, and these ones are ready to work with already. Because I only did like 1, 2 layers, you know, maybe 3 by the time you cross them and that kind of thing. So it's not too many layers, and their holes are right through. And let's see if I can get down a bit more. It's playing with these angles is sometimes really hard. I'm kind of got the camera, my legs forward and then the camera down, slight angle. So anyways, I don't know if you could see, there's a hole right through, and they're all like that. So that's how this worked. They're not perfectly smooth, but you could just go over them and play with them and that kind of thing. So these are my beads, my chunky beads. These are really big beads, or dangle, or whatever you want to call them. So now I'm just going to have fun painting with them, guys, and playing with them and designing them and decorating and whatever. And I'm going to leave this one because I could be heat tooling it, heat drying it for a while, and this is just a couple layers just like this, but it takes a while to dry, so it'll be drying overnight. So I'm not going to be worrying about those ones. I'm just going to be working with these ones here, and so I'm going to be painting up these guys. So I have all these ones gessoed here and ready to go. These ones are going to dry overnight, but they are, once they're gessoed, they are going to look like these. So, but I'm not going to finish these up today because I don't want to make the video wait. So that's, but they are going to look like these, pretty close to these. Once they're dry and done, it's just a little more extra drying time. So these are now ready for some painting, guys. So this is what we got, some fun, funky, chunky beads. So I'm just going to throw some paint on them, and I picked antique rose. I got gesso all over my fingers still, and I picked orange, a bright orange, and I picked an avocado. So we'll see what I got, how those turn out. And I got a little bit of you know, there's black here that I can use for a bit of tarnish look or whatever I decide. So I'm just going to go with it and grab one. Again, stick it on here just a bit. I don't have to stick it right through, but I'm just going to see what that takes me with this antique. And I know this light is really bright, but my other one, I tried to plug it in and it ended up breaking on me. So now I'm just stuck with just the bright one, not with the other one as well, helping me out kind of thing. So the bright one you usually have a little bit further away, and it's not quite working out to the, I mean, I'm glad I have it, but it is quite bright. So sorry about the bird, guys. So I'm just going to keep painting here and being a little stinkeroo. Put him back. I should put him up in the living room. There we go. So just, you can paint whatever color you want. You can even put tissue paper. Lori put tissue paper on hers, or paper napkin or something like that as well. So that would work. And I'm just kind of using up what's up on here to go onto here, mixing it up a bit, making it go further. I got these dried up now. Just takes a few seconds really because it's not really thick. And I'm going to throw on some of the Indian turquoise. Mix it up before I mess that up. And I might just dab it a little bit with my fingers and see how I like that. Kind of dab it on and dab it off, just like this. Kind of get my fingers in there and smushing it around. See? Don't want too much on. I don't think I'm going to catch some of the detail. I really like that. So, just for fun, you can do whenever you want. I think that's kind of cute. You can even do a nice little banana yellow kind of color or something like that too, like as if it was just worn, and those are layers. I know I'm kind of doing them all the same, but whatever. They can go as an ornament, they can go to different people. So, Happy Meal, that kind of thing, gifts. I like that. That one's really nice. You'll get a texture with the paper towel as well. It won't be quite the same, but it's a little bit of a smoother texture, but you won't get the cross stitch type of thing that you get a little bit here and there in the plaster. Piece of plaster coming off here. It's okay. Cut that off, no problem. So those are that. And like I said, even I'm going to grab a little bit of green and throw it on here and see how I like that. This green is the avocado. It's not too bad. Just a little touch of it. Flip it over. So you could do whatever. Now I think that you can use like some single letter alphabet stamps on there too if you're really careful with stamping. You might get it on a good impression, you might not, but there's another idea. There's my pieces so far. I'm going to give those a heat. I think I might just do these like black or something with some gold or something like that. I think my fingers have seen better days. I have a little bit of luminure here. I think that's how you say it. I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingers from the cap. It's just right here, so that's what I grabbed. And I'm still enjoying using my fingers, so that's what I'm going to do. Just play with it. It might look too messy for you guys. Just do something else. Just, you know, you don't have to do the same scheme. You just have fun with it. And yeah, enjoy yourself. I just love the messy look. Of course, you guys know me. And sometimes I do like the neat look, but I just like playing with it and going wild with it. So, and once you add gold, I tell you, gold really does just make everything pop. So, I like it. I like it. And that's so far it. Can you guys see all that? Is it too bright? Okay, I'm going to go wash my hands, dry these up after I get back. And then you guys can try one of these babies out and see if I can write the word love in stamped, these little Michael's letter, alpha, whatever they're called, alpha stamp set. They're like in the $1.50 bin. So I'm going to give it a shot. It's going to be a long shot. Going to have a little bit better result with these ones. You wiggle it back and forth. And then with a full word stamp, I'm just kind of wiggling back and forth, giving it a shot here. It's not working too bad, you can see. Wiggling it around. There we go. We've got the word love, if it'll actually focus on it. Not too bad. And they look pretty good. I did put a coat of matte glue sealer finish, and you can do some other sealers to make them more shiny, and this is what they look like. And I got stuff all over my fingers, but it's not bad. It's fun. And what I'm going to do now is kind of play with it. I think I'm just going to make one on here that's going to be twisted on, and then you guys get the idea, because I think a lot of us do add a kind of a loop to the top of these. And like I said, Lori made a really beautiful wire wrap, and I'm not good at that kind of thing, but she did it all around the hearts and that kind of thing as well, so it was really pretty. So I really like it. So I'm just doing it easy. I'm not really great at this wire wrap, if I can speak. There you go, guys. And so it's pretty big. It's not too bad. Can you see that? Focus. And then whatever, I don't know what I want at the bottom, so you can do some beads as well. Sorry about the noise. The kids are banging or something, playing around. You can add a few of these, that kind of thing. Add however many you want. So you can do a whole big chunky thing. I think I'm actually just going to add a loop to the bottom here. And I wasn't really paying attention to which way I'm looping it. And I'm going to wrap it a few times. This is a really poor show of it, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not really great at this part. But, you know, practice kind of gets better, right? But usually I leave this part out. I'm like, yeah, there's the picture of it wrapped. But you get the kind of the idea, and then you can hang your next beads below that. So we're going to go with this one right here just for the heck of it. I'm leaving it on the spool. It's easier that way, I think, to handle. I don't know. That way, too, if you don't know how much to use, like me, still a newbie, I like to try to get it around 3 times. I think I only got around twice this time. And my tools seem to be all kind of scattered, because I think kids are using them. I'm not putting them back. I know it's this poor way of using this here. So I'm just going to add that to it. Play with it. I have to play with it quite a bit, guys. It's going to take forever if you want me to do it perfect. It's not going to get perfect. So that would be my second one here. And try to wrap it the same way, although that just, see, again, not very good at this. But eventually one day I might get better. There's a possibility of that happening. But you get the gist of it. You all are probably better at this than I am. This is 20 gauge wires. It's pretty big, I guess. And this is just cracked wire. And this one really didn't do well. Okay, I'm going to stop it. Okay, I think I most definitely do a better job when I'm not filming the wrapping part. Terrible. It's still not great still, but it's cute enough. It's, yeah. But, I mean, I do better. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab another piece and I'm going to snip it off here. So I grabbed some more wire. And this is just the craft wire I got from Dollarama. And like I said, this is huge. This is, I did this one on video there, so I can't do it. When I'm on video, for the wrapping, it's hideous. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go around my wires cutter, or whatever this tool is here. Flip it over. I'm kind of going now the other way, but I'm making it still at the wide end. Can you see I'm making a spring? See, I could do this. I think it's either the talking or just the angle. I can't do the other thing. So now I'm just doing some rings so I can bind them or hook them together. So I did this spring looking thing, and this is how I'm making my jump rings. So now I'm just going to go to the top, snip, some jump rings off, and that's how I make some jump rings. Can you guys see that from the spring that I made? So I could do that perfectly fine. Can't do this part when I'm filming perfectly fine. But I think it's one of those things that you got some projects you just got to sit there in silence and like and your tongue sticking out. Yeah, that's that one for me. So if this was perfect, it would look a lot better, and you'd have something like this kind of dangling down, and you'd have a cute little piece. Of course, this has got to be rewrapped when I'm off the video, but there you go, and you can dangle as many as you want. Go in any direction as you want, and that kind of thing. So this is about it, friends. I did just these ones. I'm not gonna do these ones yet because I don't know actually if I want to use these in this. I could put them through like a book, junk journal, and that kind of thing for a chunky charm on junk journal. So I just wanted to show you a couple of these, even though they're not the best. Just a quick show of it. I'm gonna have to redo them, of course, because that was totally crazy. But I did put another one of my jump rings up the top. You can add some ribbon to it, and there you go. Beads and all that kind of stuff. But that's about the way it's going, like the gist of it. So I hope you guys have fun with these beads. And of course, these ones are all like pretty much done. I could put them in my stash, and these ones here are still wet, damp. But like I said, they will turn out just as nice if you want to take the time. You could probably put them in the oven or something and bake them a little bit to dry them out. But if you're in a hurry for these, but they're cold and they can still move around, and they're less sticky though. But they'll be done tomorrow, and I can paint them up and do all this with them tomorrow. So there you go. Have fun, guys. Don't forget to craft like a duck. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.